Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two tired therapists. Welcome to the pod.
Hey.
Sup, girl?
Sup, diva doll.
What's up, girl?
What you doing?
It brings me back, flashes me back.
To what?
The days I used to go to the clubs. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
Did people really do that?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was terrible.
man.
The straights are, it's rough.
Well, wild now. Wild and out.
rough.
It's rough.
But welcome to the podcast,
Welcome.
everyone.
Welcome if you're new. Welcome
Yeah.
if you're old. Welcome back.
Yes, we take old, young, and in between.
And in between, and everything in between,
And
baby.
we won't count ourselves in that.
No,
won't
we
say
are.
where we're at. We're
we are
young.
ephemeral, so
Right.
we are.
That's a word of the day.
Well,
Love it. Love
smart.
it.
Don't
Well,
tell you.
Welcome to Two Tired Therapists.
Welcome. We are two tired therapists.
Always.
Always.
Anyways, Kyle, speaking of, what are you tired of this week?
I think, well, you know me, I like a theme. So I think I'm
Flags.
going, not flags. I think I'm going to stay on my theme of policing women's bodies.
Oh, okay.
This time I'm tired that there's so much legislature and all this stuff that talks about like what women can and can't do with their bodies.
Yeah.
However, when I get on social media, every other post is an ad for erectile dysfunction medication and how you can get it right to your door for free. And it can be a pill, it can be a wipe, it can be all these things.
wipe?
A wipe. There's a wipe. There's a little wipe you can wipe your little dinky with, and it'll do fine. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
that's so interesting.
Why is it that a woman can't get an abortion, but because you can't get it up, you get a
Oh.
medication? So then, what? She has your shitty kid.
Oh my god.
So that's really tired.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm still stuck on a wipe. And how does that work?
Yeah.
Maybe that. I don't know. That
I
just-
don't know.
Oh my. Yeah.
Well, it's not only erectile dysfunction, but it's also like premature ejaculation too. There's like, maybe that's what the wipe is for, like
Oh.
for the sensitivity piece. But it's like, still, there's an ad for it. Scrolling through Facebook,
I feel
there
like this
it
took a
is.
turn, but I'm here for
Well,
it.
it usually does when I'm talking, so here we are.
Yeah.
But
no
it's so
thanks.
tiring.
Yeah.
So tiring. You gotta stop that. Men really, they ruin the world.
You
Yeah.
are correct.
Well, here we are.
What else can I say? Probably not much.
You probably have nothing to follow after that, do you?
I know. I feel like I should have gone first because whatever I say is gonna like pale in comparison.
You're just gonna be
to
like,
that.
I hate it when an M&M's melt in my hand.
Oh my god. No. Oh gosh. I have so many, but there's one that I feel like I'm also calling myself out because I used to do this. But
please.
people who talk about how busy they are and they're not really that busy, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so busy, I can't do this." I feel like
Yes.
that's everybody who works now. I'm so busy, I can't.
Well, you
do
have
this."
to, because if you complain that you're not busy, you get
I
more
know.
work. Mm-hmm.
I know. Part of it's like a self-preservation thing, but still,
Oh, yeah.
it bothered me all the time when I had people. They're like, "I'm so busy," and I'm like, "You can't find 5 minutes in the
Right.
day to do something like it
Right.
just doesn't work that way."
Right.
I don't know. I'm really tired of that.
Yeah.
I would like to leave that in 2022.
We
But
should.
no one's gonna leave it there. And you're
No.
right. It's true. I would do it all the time. I'd be like, I'm so busy, and I wasn't.
Yeah,
busy.
well, I think it's different if you're doing it as like a self-preservation. Like, I'll do that at work. Like, I can have every patient that day cancel. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Oh man, I'm gonna go work. And
Yeah.
then I just go and hide, and I
Yeah.
don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But when you really are like, when you're trying to like show that you are cool or something,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah. I'm so busy.
I'm so busy because I'm so cool. No, you're not.
I'm like, no,
No, you're not.
busy.
You're not that busy.
No. Anyway, so that's what I'm tired of
Yeah.
this week.
Well, you did say that you started tracking now. You got your list of tired
I
things.
do.
I'm very
yes.
proud of you.
I know. Yes, I
Very
did.
proud of you.
My resolution this year was to do that. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't to do that, but it should have been. But yes, I did make myself a list of things
Was to
that I'm
be more mindful about my pettiness
Yes.
and my tiredness. Yeah.
Because believe it or not, most of the time that we recorded, I don't know until we actually speak of what I'm tired of. So
Yeah.
now I'll
Yeah.
take a running list. So I got that for me.
Love that for you.
Love
Love
that
that
for me.
journey.
Anyways, well, this is going to be an interesting episode. I was telling Kyle off air that I wanted this to be more of like a hee episode, but it's going to be really informational.
Got
so
real.
you guys are going to deal with it.
Got
okay?
real. We're bringing you the tea.
So I thought it would be because the 5th season finale just came out not that long ago. Let's talk about The Circle. So Kyle, do you know anything about The Circle? Do you know what it is?
Is that? We haven't talked about this one, right? Is that?
No, we've never talked about this one.
It's not a dating one. It's where they're.
No, it's not a dating one.
They're all in different. It's people in different rooms, and
Yes.
they're basically. It's kind of like a Survivor kind of thing, right? Like they can
Yes.
vote each other out, and basically you're trying
Yes.
to be the last person standing. But
Yes.
some of them are pretending to be
Yes.
real, and some of them are. I just remember clips. Well, the only reason I know is because Trixie and Katya did their I Like to Watch on like the first season of
Oh,
Circle.
Yes.
So
that's a classic.
I've only
Trixie and
seen
Katya episode.
clips of like
So good.
I know there was one girl who was pretending to be like Lance Bass one time.
Yes,
and,
that was yeah,
yeah.
that was an interesting. Yes,
But I don't know anything. I don't really know how they vote. I don't really know what they're.
Okay.
I don't know the strategy behind it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Seems
well,
pretty dumb though. Well, you know how I feel about reality TV.
Yeah, I know you
so-
hate it. So you've pretty much got the gist and almost did my entire explanation of what the circle is. So I'm just gonna read it
Great.
anyway. So the circle, it's a Netflix show. It's a reality competition where people they move into apartments. They're either by themselves or spoiler, they may be with another person. It really depends on the circumstance. And they can only talk to the other competitors using the circle, which is a social media app that they've made up. And you have to talk at it. You can't type like so you're in a room and you're talking to a TV and then like it takes your voice and like types out your message. And obviously they can't see each other, so they get their own profile. They can upload some pictures. I think they get 2 pictures now. They used to only get 1 picture, but you get 2 pictures. You get a little profile, so you say like your name, your age, your relationship status, and like a little bio. And I'm gonna guess the bio is like 140 characters or less. It's not very large. Obviously, people can play not as themselves. So every episode there are like games or like they do kind of they'll get like a challenge. Like a couple seasons they'll do like they have to bake a cake or they have to decorate a cake in like 20 minutes or they have to put like an outfit together. In one season there's a hilarious game where they get like a styrofoam head and they have to like make it up to look like themselves. And there was a man catfishing as a woman and it was and he had no idea. And everybody knew it was a
Right.
catfish because it was
Right.
so bad.
So bad.
So bad. So there are games and then they secretly rank each other first to last. So I don't know that there's any strategy to this besides like if you like somebody in there, you're gonna obviously rank them high. Like if you and I were in there together, like I would always rank you number 1. I'm sure you would probably rank me high. Like you'd
Naturally.
and you'd want somebody who likes you in the higher positions because the top 2 players ranked become the influencers, and then they get to decide who gets blocked from the circle.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be somebody at the bottom. They could block somebody who's 3rd. They could block somebody who's if there's 8 of them, they could block somebody who's 5th. It's happened. It doesn't happen every single time, but. Once you get blocked from the circle, though, the cool thing, in my opinion, is the block player gets to go see somebody face to face. They get to go visit their apartment, which is really interesting because some of them are catfish. So
And then they know the truth.
Yes. And then at the next day, they usually typically release a video from the person who got eliminated, and they're like, they usually say something like, "Oh, it was fun." Some people get really savage though, and it'll be like, "You can't trust no one here."
God.
And then then people start wondering who did they go see. And there's been a couple of episodes in the different seasons where like somebody's been just like, "There's a lot of catfish out there," and then people won't cop to like having.
Because they obviously can't say who they went to see.
Well, they can, I mean, I guess you could in your message say, but nobody does. Everybody kind of leave. It's like it's almost like vague booking. You know what vague booking is?
Like where you like post something, but you're like
Yeah.
where you're like prayers, but don't ask me about it kind of thing. Oh, I
Yeah,
hate
so
that.
it's from Facebook, where you make like a social media status, and it's very vague, but it's obviously it's just like having a bad day, thanks,
Right.
Thanks everyone, or something like
Right.
that. Like that's a vague booking. So some of them will do something like that, where they'll like say, oh, you can't trust no one here, and then everyone's like, well, who'd they go see? Or it's like there's a lot of catfish here or whatever. I will say every season it tends to focus on everybody wants to eliminate the catfish, and it's. I honestly don't know. I almost, to be totally honest, I almost auditioned for this last season. I got all the way up, and then you have to submit like a minute video of yourself like talking about the circle and like who you would play as and like why. And
And you were like,
I
"No,
couldn't
thanks."
I couldn't like bring myself to make a video of me like being like I would blah blah blah. So anyways,
Do people really go as themselves?
yeah, a lot of people do.
Are they like really hot? Or is it the hot ones?
No, not always.
really?
Not always. Actually, now I will say in the later seasons, the hot ones are either catfishing or like not. Like if they're a model or like a whatever, they say that there's some different occupation because people who are like the hot, everybody in the earlier seasons thought everybody who was hot was fake. I mean,
Well,
obviously.
right.
So, anyways, that's pretty much the show. And well, one big thing. So at the end, the final 5 players, the last day, they all get to meet face to face at a dinner before they reveal who is the winner. So then, obviously, if there's a catfish, they meet at this dinner all together. It's that's probably the best episode is when they all meet face to face because like you've been talking to these people for like
Right.
almost a month and
Right.
you've never seen them. But a fun fact is, it's filmed in the UK, but they use shots of Chicago, like in the show. I don't know
Sure.
why. Thoughts, comments, concerns.
Well, you.
Your face, you're like, "Ugh,
I mean, you know how I feel about reality TV. I just think I don't know.
this is so trash.
It just seems, it seems trash. It seems.
so good,
what do they
though.
win? Do they win like money?
$100,000.
I don't know.
Spoiler: in one of the seasons, Catfish won, and she was
Ooh.
catfishing as her husband.
Oh.
It
Is
was
that really
pretty good.
catfishing? That's.
Well, and she was smart,
Yeah.
and some of these people are smart. Some people take notes, and like she had a notebook full of stuff because she got asked questions about like sports and like all these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
So she got a notebook full of stuff. In this current season, she was so funny. It was a lesbian playing a bisexual woman, but she said she was a makeup artist and she was not. And there was another actual makeup artist, and they were chatting. And the real makeup artist was like, "Oh, how are you doing your like makeup?" And this woman, like the catfish, was like, "I have no like I don't know what do I say." And she was so freaked, and I thought for sure she was gonna get found out.
I feel like you should pick, if you're gonna catfish, pick a profession you can bullshit. Like, I'm not gonna pick anything
I would
about
pick
like.
my own profession.
right,
I would. I don't know
right.
if I was gonna do it, I would play myself. 100% I'll play myself. But I'm not like, I don't know. I feel like the show favors more average looking people. Like, so I feel like in some ways that would be an advantage to me. Like, they don't always favor the hot ones.
Yeah.
So I would probably play as myself. I would maybe lie about my relationship status. This past season, they called it the single season because they all said they were single, although I would say probably 50 to 60% of them were actually not single. Because like, if you want to flirt with somebody, like you want to like, obviously you don't want to say, oh, I'm married or oh, I'm in a relationship or
Right.
whatever. You want,
Messy.
yeah. It's so trash. I'll never forget one of my friends who she's listened to one of my other podcasts, so hopefully she's listening. If not, hi Sarah. She turned to me. I'll never forget it. We were working together, and she was like, "You're gonna love this show, Jackie. It's just pure trash." And I was like, "You're kidding." It was right before the pandemic when the first season came out. So, and this is a show like perfectly made for the pandemic because they're all literally in their own apartments, but. Yes, you're right. There's somebody who catfishes Lance Bass, but she was his assistant, so like she knew him.
See, that's right.
So like she
Like,
had
you
an
can-
advantage
right.
on that, but like everyone was like, "That's fake."
But like, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm a rocket scientist. And then when
Right,
people
right.
start asking me, I'd be like, shit,
There
I
was
don't
this,
know.
was it season 4? I think it was season 4. The Spice Girls came in for a couple episodes.
The real Spice
Mel
Girls?
B and Emma Bunton came in and played a profile together.
I love that.
And I'm pretty sure, I think they got I don't know, they were only in a couple episodes, but it was really, like, it was funny. Like, they do cool stuff like that. And then obviously the games are really shady. Like, they'll have like an anonymous question game. So like, somebody will use that as an excuse to be like, why does your profile look like you're all filtered? Like, stuff like that.
That'd be me. I'd be questioning everybody.
Yeah, and so and it gets to be really interesting. Anyway, I personally, it's one of my favorite reality shows because it's interesting, but
I mean, it sounds far less messy than like Love Is Blind.
Yeah,
I could probably tolerate it at least.
I'll tell you, if you ever sit and you're like, you know what, let me watch this trash. The first season is very good. The first season of The Circle is great because it had never been done before, and they all were trying to figure it out. The second season, it gets savage very quickly, and then the other seasons are good, but they're not like as great as the first season. And so now that like I think this is the 5th season that they're in, it's kind of like, I don't know. There's only so much they can do to make it different anymore. Like, I
Right.
can't say that. I'm sure they'll make the show until they can't anymore, but in some ways, I'm like, I would just cut it at like a certain point. But that's just me. But when I watch, I'm always like, you know, what is the impact of social media? Because like you can play as whoever you
Yeah,
want, and you can
yeah.
lie about your
People do this
stuff.
on the daily.
Yeah. So I just thought, well, let's just do this episode about social media because
Okay.
it's interesting, and there is a lot.
And we know a lot about social
Right,
media.
right, 'cause
Because
we-
we're not boomers.
Right. Well, and you and I,
Right?
I won't age us, but we grew up in the era of MySpace and like I don't know, maybe you might be you're not that much younger than me though, but like Zynga and like that whole like
Oh, yes.
Live Journal and like the
Yes.
early
I remember
the early
Zynga.
aughts
Oh, yeah.
with all that stuff. I'm not aging myself
Oh
whatsoever.
my God, right. Where you took your pictures on a webcam.
Right, or like a digital camera.
digital
and you don't
camera.
upload it, then you put it in like
Right.
Microsoft Paint and you like color it. You
Yep.
put like it was a mess was
Yeah.
So anyways, I was like, oh, I just wanted to Google social media mental health. That's all I Googled, and I found so many interesting things. And here's some statistics, and there's a lot because I was intrigued. So first one, according to the Pew Research Center, 69% of adults and 81% of teens use social media. And it's obviously more popular amongst
Really?
teens and young adults that qualified as 18 to 29, definitely in that age bracket. I'm not gonna lie.
Just saying. Just put it out there.
And then, so young adults account for 86% of users, and interestingly, less than 1/3 of social media users are 65 and over.
Really?
See, I'm surprised it's not more.
That's what my thought. That seems
I'm
like a very
surprised it's not
low
more.
number.
So there's that. The 3 most popular social media platforms among teenagers are YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat. I would not have guessed this.
Where's TikTok? No TikTok?
No TikTok. I think this data is from like 2018, 2020, so it might be a little bit before TikTok.
Well, I have all those things, so I feel really cool.
Yeah, I don't use Snapchat anymore. I'm too old.
I just watch people. And I don't actually use it.
Whenever I
just
decide to
look
open
at
it, it's
everyone's
interesting
stories.
that like once every 4 months I open it or so. But
It is a lot of like youngins. I get a lot of, and again, I don't know if this says anything about me, but a lot of the like who you should follow
Oh,
people
yeah.
are like 18 to like 23-year-old
They're like, "What are these
little boys that should do their workout routine on Snapchat. I'm like,
know.
I don't work out a lot, so I don't want to see that. 2, you're too young.
So the stats on each of them were 85% of teenagers use YouTube, 72% use Instagram, and 69% use Snapchat. And also, I don't know if this is interesting because I don't have it, but interesting, the percentage of teens who use Facebook declined over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I
So
think.
this is like 2018.
Yeah, I think Facebook it's considered like your parent, like
Oh yeah.
it's your parents'
Yes.
social media.
And so there's that. Since the release of smartphones, mental health concerns have increased in children and young adults. The rate of adolescents who report MDD symptoms increased by 52% from 2005 to 2017. And then from 2009 to 2017, it grew 63% in 18 to 25-year-olds. That's wild. That's a lot.
Because it was smartphones.
Since the release of smartphones. So obviously, in smartphones, you have, you can go wherever. I mean, you can go on Instagram and Facebook versus like, my first cell phone didn't have any.
No,
It was like
no.
a-
It was when you
like a Nokia
accidentally
brick.
when you accidentally clicked the internet, you
And
were
you're
like,
like, no, 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 no,
yeah.
The fear, or like I played
Yeah.
Snake on my this
yeah.
phone, or it was like a quarter per text, like that's so from 2000, so from all of that.
Why do you think that? What do you think?
Because you can see everything from your. You can't really. I mean, I'm sure there are. I don't have kids, so I don't know how. But I'm sure there are apps and stuff that you can limit usage for like
Sure.
social media.
Oh, yeah.
But you have everything at your fingertips. Like I don't know. You're seeing all this stuff happen in real time. People videoing, putting it on live. Like I don't know. It makes sense to me. I think it's a lot though.
But for them to get depression from that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll chat later. I have a whole.
Oh, okay.
I have a whole little
I was
thing
saying, I
later.
already got theories. I'm ready.
So more than 38% of people see social media as harmful, and only 5% of people think it's positive. That
seems
low. Both
That does
of
seem
those
low.
statistics both seem low. I would think it would be more than 38%.
they don't really balance out.
No. So, interestingly, here's another one. 8th graders who spend over 10 hours on social media per week are 56% more likely to report being unhappy than those who spend less time on social media. Keep thinking.
I am.
Keep churning.
I have 2 theories. I'm ready.
So, 59% of U.S. teens experience cyberbullying or online harassment. 90% say they think this harassment is a problem that affects other people their age, and 63% say that it's a major problem.
Yeah.
I would agree.
100%.
Some of these people
Yeah.
online are.
Yeah.
And then people talk. So this is an interesting statistic that I felt like I needed to include. So people talk about themselves around 30 to 40% of the time in person, but on social media, people talk about themselves 80% of the
Sure.
time.
Well, yeah.
So when we receive a notification of positive feedback, they feel a positive sensation from dopamine. It had a little chart. It was really interesting, and if I will pull it off this website and we can post it on our socials if we want to. But it was like the dopamine loop of like you get you post a picture, somebody likes it, like your like brain like loves it, so then you post again, like, and it just you're getting this like dopamine loop of like, oh, everything's great and social media is the best and
Right.
I'm so popular when
Right.
you might not be popular at all.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Well,
Sorry.
I think. Well, I don't want to give out my theory yet. We'll keep
Okay.
it. We'll keep it. But yes.
So, anyways, so there's that. I just thought about issues with social media, and I didn't. There are so many, so I don't want to like say, oh, whatever you and I talk about is the only issues. But
Sure.
the first one I thought of was comparison. So have you heard that quote that's like comparison is the thief of joy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, yeah, because you got to think about it. Like, if all your posts are like carefully curated, if you're
Yes.
like posting your fancy vacation or your purse or your shoes, and I can't post those same things, like I'm gonna feel like my life is
Right.
not as cool as yours.
Right. Well, but you extrapolate that. Oh, they have that nice purse, so then everything else in their life is amazing.
Right.
When in reality, like, no, they're just showing you. It may not be theirs. They may have just
Right.
taken a picture of it at like the mall,
Have you
right?
did you ever see those stories? And this is like years ago, where like was it Bow Wow? Some rapper, I think it was Bow Wow, like posted some picture on his Instagram that he was on like a private jet, and somebody saw him on a commercial flight and took a picture. Of
I do.
And
I think it
like,
was.
do you
Was
remember
it
that?
Bow Wow?
I'm pretty
I
sure
think
it was Bow Wow. It was
I think
so
it was.
funny. And they're like, why didn't you just like post that you were taking a commercial flight? Like, why would you just
Because
like,
it's not cool.
Well, right, I know, but it's just
Right.
it's so dumb. I don't
But
know.
I think that's where, right? Like, someone sees that poster, like, wow, they get to go on like a fancy jet,
Right.
and I'm just on a commercial plane. When like,
I
so are
know.
they? But you've already set up the expectation that you're trash and you're terrible.
Yeah, it's mess. The second thing I thought, and this is a real thought on my brain, what the fuck is real and what the fuck is not?
100%.
Have you seen some of these AI like fancy
Oh my
things now
gosh,
where
I
like they
know,
can
the
make it seem
deepfakes,
like
yeah.
where like I watched a video where it was a guy who was talking. He sounded like Tom Cruise, and then he got like AI computer to like put Tom Cruise's face on his. It looked like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And I sounded like Morgan Freeman, and the guy was white.
Right.
I mean, it was like, how do you know what's real? And then everything is so filtered.
I know. Well, they're doing that in like movies too, right? Where they like where an actor and actors will die, and so then they'll just deep
Like
fake them into.
CGI, I know.
Yes.
Well, and I understand if like the actor dies during filming, and you've had
Sure.
like I understand that, but yeah,
Sure.
there's some movies where I don't know.
But then it's like, well, if they're doing that, I mean, what are other people doing?
Right. Well, and it's so hard because I understand like Photoshop and like, oh, if you have like a bad like pimple or whatever, like I don't care if you Photoshop all that out of your face, like it's
Right.
whatever. But there's so many heavily filtered photos and things now that it's almost, I don't know, it's so intense now. Like I don't remember it being that intense when I was like in my Zanga and live
Right.
journal
Well, I don't think
days.
they had
like,
that.
Well, no, but I mean, you
It
could.
was well, you had black and white and sepia.
Well, you could do
or
it.
sepia,
You
or
could do it
whatever
in
it's
paint.
called.
You could like get a dropper to get your skin tone from like, and
Sure.
then do it and like you could. I mean, it was really difficult, so pixelated, but
Right.
you could.
But now it's so easy.
Right. And so, and I will say on The Circle, it's really funny because when people have like heavily filtered photos, everybody thinks they're
Sure,
catfish.
sure.
And on this season, there was one woman who used her, she was herself, completely herself. And everyone was like, her photos are so filtered, she's fake.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a little filtered. I didn't think they were so filtered, but she also was a makeup artist. So I'm like, you know how to do your makeup really well. So it
Mm. Right.
probably doesn't look like
Right.
it makes it look like that. But then you gotta think if teenagers don't know what's real and what's not, that's probably contributing to some of this
Right.
stuff. Like, I don't know.
Well, they don't. I mean, one, teenagers are famously stupid, right? Like,
You're putting it so nicely, yes.
I mean, they are like they don't know anything,
No, they
and so again, to like, they're gonna look at that person who's putting their new purse as like, oh my gosh, they're cooler than me,
Yeah.
and then like it's downhill from there.
No, hard mess. Okay, last one I could think of, and I have some statistics for this because I thought it was interesting, was obviously the cyberbullying and harassment. And I'll say this, when I'm on Instagram or wherever I'm at and I see people commenting negatively, I'm like, you would never say this to this person
No,
in real life.
no.
Which makes it
Right.
It makes me laugh because I'm like, you would never say
No.
this. But some people some people need to just chill. So again, the Pew Research Center in the 2018 survey, they found that 1 in 6 U.S. teens experienced at least one form of abusive behavior online, including name calling, which was 42% of them, spreading false rumors, which was 32%, receiving unsolicited explicit images, 25%, having their activities and location tracked by someone other than a parent was 21%, which is scary.
That's too high.
Someone making physical threats, 16%, and then having explicit images of them shared without their consent, which was 7%.
I bet those are higher. I bet all those are higher.
I bet they are higher too.
Yeah, I think those have to be higher. Some of those have to be.
The location tracking is just throwing me.
I think because of the lack of social like feedback,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, like people would never say this to a person.
No.
Because of that, right? Like we all have this social anxiety built into us that keeps us part of the herd, right? So you don't go against the grain. But when you do this over social media, that's gone. Like
Yeah.
there is none of that. Plus, you have your, your Finstas, right? Like kids will
Yeah.
make like their fake Instagrams and like fake Snapchats, so it's like it's even more anonymous that they have no idea. So yeah, they're doing whatever they want.
Do you ever read those stories of people who are like, I mean, I don't know if you go on Reddit like I do, but I like some of these are really funny where it's like people will be like, oh, I made a catfish profile to see if my boyfriend or girlfriend or partner was cheating on me, and I'm like, why would you waste your time doing all
Right.
of that? Like, I don't know. That
Why don't you
seems like
just
a lot.
why don't you just tell them they're an asshole to their face? Like
Right.
seriously.
Well, why would you?
That
Why
is
would you
borrowing
catfish?
trouble.
Like, I don't know. I always laugh at that because I think it's so funny. I'm like, why
Yeah.
would you spend all that time? You could spend more time trying to hack into their stuff. Like, why would you make a profile?
Or you could go to therapy and talk about your insecurity with your local therapist.
Right.
Because
Oh my.
if you go asking for trouble, girl, you're gonna find it.
you're like the healthy solution. Go to therapy, and I'm like, you could just hack into their
Or
profile.
you could just, I mean,
You can
well,
snoop. I
won't
promote
say,
snooping, but
yeah, I won't say I have or have not done what you're saying in previous relationships, but
I
if
cannot confirm or deny.
and I can't confirm or deny, but if you'll realize, I'm probably not in that relationship currently, so I'll just say that.
I had one. I was story time. I had one ex-boyfriend who got really weird when he talked about this girl who was sort of like a peripheral friend to him, his core friend group, and he would get really weird. He would like sometimes she would come to stuff or she would whatever, and she was like fine, but. And I don't remember if I was ever there, but like everybody was like, "Oh, she's fine" or whatever. He would get so weird, and I was like, "Why are you getting so weird about her? Like something's wrong." He was like, "Well, I had a crush on her. She didn't like me. We like, and now she's like talking to me." And I was like, "Let me see your phone, because like something is just not like." And I didn't like take it from him like in the middle of the night. I was like, "Give me your phone." I was like, "'Cause I don't trust what you're doing." He gave me his phone. He got so mad that I looked through his stuff and there was nothing in there. And he was just like, "I can't believe you just," and I'm like, "You just gave me. I didn't take it from you."
Right.
Like
You gave
at
it to
no
me.
point did I like steal this from you. Go through it in the middle of the night. Like. There was something really funky about it. I don't know. I always thought there was something weird. He was so strange about her, and there was nothing to prove anything. But I didn't do it behind his back, so I don't feel as bad about it.
So
Needless to
then-
say, we're not together anymore.
Right, exactly.
I'm sure he's
So how often do you go through producer Justin's phone? I think that's maybe a good question.
Never.
Never. Nothing good there.
No, like I told you earlier, it's probably just googling matching
Right.
sweatshirts with my
Right.
dogs or something like
Right.
that. Well, okay. So anything that you want to add to this, like any theories or thoughts, or did I hit sort of the main ones?
I think so. Well, we talked about like the social aspect of it, but I think another one, because again, you talked about like a mood disorder,
Yeah.
and not like anxiety, which I feel like
Yeah.
would be more of
I
what we're
didn't-
talking about.
I didn't include the I didn't include the anxiety statistics because there's a lot.
Sure, but I think for me, what jumps out with a mood disorder is how is it impacting their sleep patterns?
Yeah, and again, I couldn't include all the statistics, and we can include the websites that I found all this information. If people want to like actually read through it. There was a lot on sleep and how
Yeah.
sleep is affected
Yeah.
by social media, and like you're
Absolutely.
scrolling through
Absolutely.
hours and hours of stuff.
Well, and it's that little dopamine burst too,
Yeah.
right? Like that really messes with your sleep. Like the light from your phone messes
Yeah.
with your sleep. But that's always one of the things. There's a lot of research on sleep and mood disorders.
Yeah.
So that's what my brain goes to too. Is like these kids are probably up all
Yeah.
night scrolling on their phone. And I know I'm guilty
Yeah.
of this too. Like I've had nights where you just get
you can't sleep. and
you
you're
just
like,
are
yeah,
scrolling, and the next day I'm like I'm a terror, like more than usual. Like I'm
more than my usual. Yeah.
I'm just like I'm not in a good mood and I'm tired and
Yeah. Sometimes if I can't sleep, I will like open something and just scroll, and
Which, it's not
a mess,
good.
but
Yeah, it's not
it is
good.
what it is. Well, how about we take a break,
okay.
and then we'll talk about what are some solutions, maybe treatment. Like if
Perfect.
you might have more experience with this than you should do something with the teens. I don't, but
Oh God, not much.
so we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
We're back.
And we're back.
All right, let's talk about treatment.
Let's talk about treatment.
As you know, as I'm famous for on this podcast, I don't work with children or youths, so I have nothing to offer this.
But let me offer something nonetheless.
Right. So I would imagine that working with teens, this would come up in therapy somewhat if it wasn't their presenting problem. into
Yes,
therapy.
I think so.
And I think like you said, anxiety, depression, like it's going to show up there too. But I think talk therapy would be helpful for this kind of a thing. Maybe I don't I thought ACT and CBT and like even a little bit of DBT would probably be beneficial.
Oh gosh, yes, definitely DBT. I think ACT. Yeah, I think ACT. I think you really, honestly, I do think CBT would probably be the best because you have to help them. One, with the idea of like, okay, when I see this picture, here's what I think, here's what I feel. Do a little like reality testing, right? Expectation management of like, that's probably not real. Like, because no one's going on Facebook and be like, let me post about how shitty my life is. Right. Well, I guess some people do. Some people do, but not in like a genuine way, right? Not often, I should say. Right. Most people are like, oh, I got a new job or we moved. Here's the new house. They put the good things on there. So I think teaching the little children, like, one, here's reality.
Right. Well, and yeah, I think CBT would just the core, the thought, the behavior. Like, I think that would be really helpful for teens. I don't know. I think that was the first thing that came to my mind. And then ACT maybe is just like, if you got it so bad where you're like, I have to notice like I'm having this thought and like the thought's going like, because I can only imagine like, I don't know, if you were feeling really shitty about yourself and then your friend posted a picture of their vacation in Bora Bora and you're like in the middle of wherever and it's snowing 45 inches, like I would be upset too. I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I think the ACT could be helpful as far as how do you use social media in a valuable way, because I really don't think that social media is bad. I think just like with anything else, there's a healthy way to use it and there's an unhealthy way to use it.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I think I don't love it. I don't like it personally, but I'm on very limited amount of different ones because I don't like to have that big of a presence. But it also gets, I don't know. I left Facebook almost 3 years ago now, and I don't regret it a single day because it was such a mess of a place.
Still is.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Sometimes I reactivate for like an hour and I'm like, no. And then I'm like, bye. And then I just like slip into the abyss. But I think in moderation, it's fine. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know. That's just me, but
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's with anything, right? Like moderation. But yeah, I think teaching the kids, one, that like, hey, you got a block button. So anytime someone's bugging you, like you just block them. And here's how you can connect with people in a healthy way. I've done that with some of my teen clients, especially who either like LGBTQ or have some kind of like interest that not a lot of people have, like having them use like Discord or something to like connect with people with that shared interest to find support when maybe they're not getting that around where they live. So it's like I think it's a lot of it's educational too, right? Like to teach them that and teaching the parents because sometimes they suck.
Well, that's true. Well, and I can only think of like parents who don't know or I don't know, understand. I don't know. Because it even has changed so much in the last like I got a Facebook in a year that I will not say, but it was still relatively like a new like thing back then, and it's changed so much. And what is it, Meta now or whatever it's called? It's so like just the evolution of it. And I think I was talking to my brother who has a 1+ year old. He's like a little over a year old, and we were talking about social media, and I was like, what do you think? What is your son gonna what do you think he's gonna do? And he goes, I hope he goes back to like social media is a weird thing, and like you guys all misused it, so we don't want it. And he and I had this whole conversation about how that would be so great as if this like generation who's being born now is just like, no, we're not gonna like even touch it because it's so weird that you guys. Because I read an article recently that digital cameras are coming back, which I might still have my old digital camera. I'm not sure. It was red, but people are taking pictures on them now, and they like to wait and get them developed and stuff like that. And I'm like, I didn't pay $65,000 for my phone to take a picture.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It might. I mean, I think especially as it's researched more too. I wonder, like, because we're seeing young kids who have a lot of behavioral issues, and it's centered around like what I don't know. They call it withdrawal symptoms, but essentially withdrawal symptoms because they watch their tablet for 4 hours.
I was gonna say like having an iPad or whatever.
But I mean, again, that little dopamine kick, every little like. It's essentially an addiction,
and
right?
And they gear stuff towards kids and teens. Like, I don't know. Like, that's why I think TikTok is very much geared towards like a younger age bracket than probably the majority of its users are. But it's a mess. Anyways, so there were some statistics on solution-ish stuff, which I thought I would share. And
okay.
already talked about
like things to do?
Yeah, things that would make it better, I guess.
Okay.
So limiting social media use is the best way to improve your mental health, obviously.
100%.
Using Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat for only 10 minutes a day for 3 weeks led to lower rates of loneliness and depression.
Wow.
10 minutes.
10 minutes a day.
I don't even know that I could do 10 minutes a day. That's a very short amount of time. You might have to like do like an hour and then like 45 minutes and like you might have to get yourself to a point.
Yeah, probably.
Where, like,
probably.
And then reducing social media use even 30 minutes to like 30 minutes a day resulted in significantly lower levels of anxiety, depression, loneliness, sleep problems, and FOMO, fear of missing out.
FOMO.
I can say confidently I have no FOMO.
No, I don't FOMO whatsoever.
People will be posting on their lives.
What's the opposite of FOMO?
Right.
FOMO, comfort of missing out. Like, I don't care. I really don't care.
Fear of being there.
My favorite thing, I love to cancel plans. I love it.
There was a meme going around recently that was like, I would love to get a drug that is the same high as when somebody cancels plans.
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh my God.
I don't have that. Mm-mm.
Sometimes you just gotta, I don't know, there are some days I just have to like
Do
build
nothing.
myself
Yep.
up to like actually do something. Oh my God.
No, I think it would be hard to limit, but I think it's all true. I think just
People are really like, there are people who use Facebook as a diary, and I'm like, this
Oh,
is not
we're
your
not- no,
diary.
no, we're
this
not
is
doing that.
weird. Like, I don't know. I've told people that I'm like, you use it as a diary.
I literally
don't
I
like
posted
that.
something the other day and I called myself fat. Like that's been the first thing I posted in like 2 months. Like that's what I did. So,
I love that.
but I do think the limiting is good because I even noticed like when I just get into those holes and it's like, wow, I've been on like Instagram Reels because we all know that's what I do
Yeah, right.
for 2 hours. I'm like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like I don't feel good. It's not fun.
Yeah, you get down like a rabbit hole sometimes of
Yeah.
like on your like
And you feel
homepage or
gross.
whatever, and it's like
Yes.
all this rant or your Discover page or whatever it's called, and you're like, I've been guilty of that where I'm like, oh,
Sure.
I was just gonna look and see, like I was gonna post a story or whatever,
Right.
and then like 45 minutes later, I'm like in
Right.
somebody's Instagram profile that I've never met
Right.
in real life, and I'm like, I need to like log
Yeah.
off.
But if I mean that's with us being, young adults.
Hip.
Can you imagine a child whose brain is not formed whatsoever, like what that is doing to their brain?
Yeah, I know. I can't imagine like having a kid right now and like trying to
God,
explain
no.
to a kid that like probably 90% of people who are posting pictures of their bodies is either not real or very posed.
Or of anything of their life, of what
Right.
like it's a snapshot. It's one moment of their life. Like, yeah, maybe they're having a good thing now, but you don't know you have no idea what they go through.
And something that you love about me and producer Justin is that like we hardly ever post of each other. Like if you
Yeah.
didn't know us, you'd think like maybe we didn't have a good relationship
Well.
because we hardly
Right.
well we
Right.
hardly ever post stuff about each other. I think about that a lot. I'm like,
Right.
if you didn't know me very well, and I don't know. And there's also things you can do to make yourself more, safe online, which I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna get into because there's
Right.
hopefully everybody who's listening to this is over the age of 18, but maybe
God.
not. Oh God,
Sorry, kids.
sorry, children.
We are kind of advocating for them today, which is odd. That's an odd vibe for
Yeah,
us.
I don't like it. It's very. I feel like it's off brand for us.
It is very.
don't-
I know we're like very serious. Like you got to save the kids.
Well,
It's
like,
about the children.
I read these like articles and stories about these kids who like will give out their like address to somebody, and I'm
Sure.
like, you don't. Do you remember when AIM first came out?
Yeah.
And like ASL and like all,
ASL.
I won't even. I shouldn't even talk about the things I would do on AIM.
God.
I wasn't allowed to have it.
Oh,
but my
I went
friends
into
did.
AOL chats all the time pretending to be a 20-year-old woman.
I full blown catfished somebody. Well, I wasn't like I said, I wasn't allowed to have AIM at my home. My mom was like, "No, you're not doing that." But I had friends who like had their own laptop or whatever, and they would have AIM. And
Yeah.
my friend and I straight up catfished a dude, and we sent him pictures of Emily Van Camp. If you don't know who that is, and we're like, "Yeah, this is us."
Well, that was yeah. Oh yeah.
And I
I
don't know
did
how this
that.
guy didn't know who she was at the time. I mean, it was when she was in Everwood, so it was like in the mid aughts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe he didn't know who she was, but I mean, straight up, like I
Yeah.
remember going to like MSN chat room.
Yep.
Oh no, it was
AOL. We did.
bad.
Yep. What was me? Yeah, I'm literally like 13-year-old little gay boy pretending to be a 23-year-old female, like trying to get like shirtless pictures of men like that. I probably shouldn't say that. My parents listen to this podcast now. So hi, mom and dad.
You're
so sorry.
You're older. It's fine. I can't talk about the unspeakable things that I did on some of these chat rooms or online, but it was
Yeah.
the catfishing is Emily Van Camp. My
But
favorite story.
that was hard to do back in the day.
Well, yeah, because
Well,
and
now it's so easy. You can get on Snapchat and
I can
randomly add somebody.
And now I
and-
feel like it's easier to find out if you're catfishing though because they have like reverse
true.
Google image
That's true.
search. Versus back then, I mean, you had to like save the photo to your computer, you had to like upload it. Like oh my god, I remember like messing with my MySpace profile so like I could change the background. Like back then we all did coding. We're like, fuck
Oh,
this. Like,
right.
we're I had like my own background that I
Right.
made on all my shit.
Right.
Like oh
Everything
my god,
was,
it
like, glittery.
Yes,
Yep.
everything was like oh my god, my Zynga. I'm glad it doesn't exist anymore. But I would be very interested to read in
I would not.
what I used
stay,
to say.
It can stay dead.
I would be mortified. I would have to read it probably drunk as hell. I don't think I
Yeah.
could read it sober. Oh no.
No, I remember one of the last things I posted on my MySpace is I would call myself the Twilight Prince. Yeah. Yep.
I just made
Yeah.
I was very-
I was seen, so I had a lot of feelings.
I love it. I know it's probably shocking, but I was very, I don't want to say very, I was pretty dramatic as a like early, a preteen and an early teen.
I couldn't see that.
I know. And I used Zynga as my personal like grounds to like blast everyone, like vague book. But like worse, and then I would post like lyrics. You know how you
Yes.
put like your
Oh.
aim, like I used to do that shit.
Honey, my
all
aim
the
was
time.
Evanescence lyrics every day. Let
Oh
me
my
tell
God.
you. Let me
Which-
tell you.
Should I ask you what your screen name was? It was I had so many, but you
Please
know,
don't. It was okay. Well, so I
you don't have to tell like the whole thing. You can just say if it was like was it Twilight Prince?
no, it wasn't. I don't. I had an AOL one too. I think my AOL was. I don't know. I had this obsession with Superman, so it was Superman something. I think my aim was like Superboy, but like BOI. And then I'm pretty sure it had my home phone number on it. Actually, now
Oh
that
my
I think
God.
about it, but I know I had one that was Superman Shorty SHORTIE 8. But I can't remember if that was my AOL or if that was I had Yahoo as well.
Oh my god.
I had problems.
I still have one of my, well, I have all, so my screen name, when I say it, it's going to sound like I was trying to make it sound like something provocative. And I used to play the saxophone.
Did you really?
Yes.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Which one?
How did we not know that?
I don't,
The
yeah.
alto sax.
Oh, you did? I played alto for like a year. And
I played it
started
all
playing
through high
tenor,
school.
and then I played Barry in high school
Oh
mostly.
my god, that makes so much
So
sense.
when I tell
So
you,
much is
I will tell you
clicking.
what my screen name is because I'm proud of it and I still love it. But it sounds like I was trying to say something else, and I really wasn't. I thought it was so clever, and I loved it. My screen name was Sax Stargirl 38. My best one. I had lots of screen names. I won't.
Stargirl.
Stargirl. You know, that's a good book. I like that book.
Oh,
That's
I did
why.
like- yeah,
that's
Stargirl
why
the
I
book.
was. Yeah, I
That
like
was a
that.
good
I like
book.
that
That
book,
was a
and I
good
played the saxophone, so I was Sax Stargirl 38.
Sax Stargirl.
And then everybody at my prior job, when we talked about when the pandemic happened, and we were like, "Oh, what's your most embarrassing email?" Because we did get a lot of potential clients coming in who had some really embarrassing emails, and so my embarrassing email, which is not really embarrassing, still have to this day, proud of it, is pink and black stars.
Oh my
X.
god, I hate that. That's tired. That's canceled.
I don't know what the password to get into it. But I still have it. I won't say which domain it is, but I
Yeah.
still have it. I'm sure it's like 1,001. It's probably a million emails from like Facebook because I think that's what my
All of
Facebook
it.
is registered under.
I was just thinking. I'm pretty sure my Yahoo one was like Little Kai Kai or something. Yeah. I had a lot of issues, Jackie. You don't understand.
Kai Kai.
Kyle.
I
Kai
get
Kai.
that, but
Yeah. Kai Kai.
I love that. Anyways, I don't remember what my saying is for my live journals were.
Yeah, I don't
I'm sure it was some
remember either.
variation of my screen name, but it wasn't. I didn't keep the same thing for across platforms. Like,
No. Yeah.
but now it's like you have to have your same handle, and I don't even have my same handle.
Yeah, I would have no
Honestly.
idea. I'm sure the password or something like I love whoever I was in
Yeah,
love with at the time.
I would be really embarrassed to know what my
Zac
password is.
Efron, probably.
Right, I'm sure my.
I just went. I know this is a tangent. I went home to visit my parents last weekend, and my dad had a box of like posters that I used to have on the wall. Can you guess what most of them were?
Zac Efron.
Yes, in High School Musical.
That was, what was,
And
it
my
was just
parents
the,
didn't
what,
know
like,
I was gay. I don't know
20th
how they
year
didn't
anniversary
know.
of it coming out or something. No, it was the.
Well, we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to say years, Jackie. We don't have to do that.
Sorry. Anyways, okay. Well, let's play Would You Rather
Okay,
with the
okay.
social media edition because this is
Yeah.
interesting.
Let us know your screen names.
Yes.
Tell us your screen names. We'd love to put you on blast as well, since we.
I know I
Did
don't
that
want to talk
to
about all the.
ourselves.
I can only remember like a handful of them, but I had several, and then I had like a catfishing one that I used, but I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyways, okay. Would you rather social media edition? Are you ready?
Okay.
So, we're gonna start easy. Would you rather be tagged in an unflattering picture or accidentally like a person's photo from several years ago?
Unflattering picture because I could untag myself.
Yeah, I think I would say the picture.
I don't take unflattering pictures.
I don't take unflattering pictures. Other people take unflattering
Oh.
pictures. Okay, would you rather be soft blocked or unfollowed? Which I assume soft block means like you're muted. I didn't look up what soft blocking is.
I don't think I give a shit either way.
Me either.
Yeah.
I think I would rather just be unfollowed. If you
Yeah.
have to block
Just-
me from seeing your stuff,
Just unfollow. Yeah.
just delete
Just
me.
unfollow
It's
us.
fine.
Yeah,
I
we don't
probably
care.
won't notice.
No.
Okay. Would you rather be followed by a celebrity you like or have that celebrity publicly reply to one of your messages? This is a loaded
Oh.
question. Because you got to think about the implications
Do I want them to follow me or reply to me?
publicly. So, like, if you were to,
Oh.
like, comment, I know you don't use Twitter, but I was going to use Twitter as an example, but, like, if you tweeted or if you, like, commented on somebody's picture and then they commented on that, like, that's the reply. Or they follow you.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah. I was like, ooh.
I think I'd want them to follow me.
Same. I would be.
Because they usually don't follow a lot of people. So
No, and you could DM them.
yeah.
And it wouldn't be under, like, a block request.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them to reply because I probably would say something like, "You're so hot and I want to do you." Like, I wouldn't want them to reply to that.
My old messages would come up where it's like, I love you so much. Please notice me. And then it's
Or I'm
like,
gonna kill myself.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Would you rather lose access to social media for life or have free internet for life? So no social media for the rest of your life or have free internet.
like, like free internet. Like I don't have to pay for
Yeah,
it.
you
Like
never
at
have to pay
home.
for it. Yeah, you never have to pay for internet again.
But I have to give up social media.
Yeah, you can't have any social media.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah, I think I would want the free internet. Internet could be expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That
I thought you and
include-
I were gonna disagree on more of these, but
I don't know. That one's a hard one.
Okay, and then the last one I have, which is the best.
Oh God.
And I hope we haven't talked about this. Would you rather accidentally post a nude publicly
No.
or have your
No.
old MySpace photos or insert whatever old social media you want resurface publicly?
So post a nude.
Yeah, accidentally post your nude publicly or your old social media profile pictures.
I would rather have my, because I would rather have my pictures, my old pictures resurface.
Not your nudes.
No, because that can really f up your life. Places will fire you. They won't hire you just because, like, come on, like everyone freaking does it. Like, calm down.
I think I would also agree. I would rather have, well, one, I would rather see my old MySpace photos because
Yeah.
I would really love
I
to know
took some
what I thought
interesting
looked
ones. Yeah.
hot back then, which is probably not
But then
hot.
you could say like, well, that's everyone was doing that. Right? Like, it wouldn't be
Right.
that embarrassing because everyone did dumb shit like that when they were a kid.
I was watching a Instagram of a popular influencer that I won't name her, but she's really funny, and she was talking about how her nudes got posted to her family's like, because they shared like a Google account and she didn't realize, and I guess they had some sort of like, I don't know, picture frame or like kind of like a TV where like the pictures would scroll through from the cloud.
Oh, no.
And she didn't realize her nudes would upload to that cloud, and she was over at her parents' house and they
There it
came up
was.
and her mom was like, you could do better.
Oh.
So funny.
That'd be
I
me as a
laughed
parent. I'd be
so
like, we need to talk about that lighting.
She was like, yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, my mom was like, you didn't, I could take a better picture than this.
Seriously.
Don't be embarrassed, but you don't look that good.
Right.
I thought that was hilarious. I was
Right.
like, that's not the reaction I would have had in my household. Well, let me tell you.
Let me tell you. I
Anyways,
know mine either, but
we won't talk about, maybe we'll do a special episode sometime and
About
you can pay
sending
us
nudes.
to hear about it, where we just talk about our social media nudes or something. I don't know.
please don't. I have many years of questionable decisions that I've made when it comes to these things.
I can't,
So-
no, bad choices were made back then. Anyways,
Yeah.
well,
Wow.
Social
Social
media.
media.
you know, could you believe that we started this episode talking about
I
this,
know. I was like ready to sit here and like drag
this reality show?
like reality shows and straight people, and it really took a turn. It really got educational and serious.
The best people on the circle are the gays. I'll just be
Well,
completely honest.
mean-
They're the best people. They're the best part of that show. In one of the seasons, a gay man pretends to be his lesbian best friend, and he almost wins. I'm surprised he didn't win, but it was fantastic.
That's what we should go on the circle, and we'll pretend to be each other.
I don't. And so I'm like, what I use, but I could only be myself. I don't know that I could ever play anybody else because I feel like you have to track so much
Yeah.
of yourself in there. But yeah, I think the people who are lucky who go on that show either get to be with somebody, or like there are some times where they'll eliminate two players and they make them become a profile together, so then they're living in an apartment together. Because I wouldn't mind being alone, but I feel like after a while you're literally talking at a TV every single day for like probably
Yeah.
5 hours a day, where I would want to have another person to be like,
Oh,
sup?
can you imagine if it was you and me? Oh my God, we'd win. We'd win.
You and I would be, I feel like, drunk the whole
So-
time. I think honestly you would like the show because of when it does get dramatic, it's like, oh, like,
It's like messy.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
messy. But anyways, the circle.
The circle.
Maybe Netflix will sponsor us one day.
It would be nice. Please,
Watch all the reality shows.
please, Netflix.
Well, everyone,
It's been great.
It's been real.
Limit your social media,
Yeah,
including us, I guess.
yeah. I guess
Probably best for
talk
your
to a
health,
therapist if you want to
please.
snoop, or
Yeah.
make a catfish profile to talk to your significant other to see if they'll cheat on you. Please don't do
Please
that.
don't do that. That is
If
not
you're gonna-
Jackie Nicole approved.
Right. If you're going to, I guess, want to go through your significant other stuff, just ask them and do it in front of them.
Yeah.
Not snoop.
Yeah. Or maybe ask yourself, why do I want to do this?
Right.
What's
Yeah.
happening?
Anyways, well,
We'll see you,
we'll see you on the
next
next one.
time.
Okay.
Stay tired.
I'm Patty.